It's the Dork Podcast with Rich Keefe. It's the Dork Podcast and David. It's the Dork Podcast. Hashtag. It's the hashtag Dork Podcast.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hashtag Dork. My name is Rich Keefe, and I am a faithful. One of my favorite parts of the whole show is at the round table when they're trying to defend themselves, and they're like, I'm a faithful. As if everyone's gonna be like, yeah, okay, yeah. The Traitors are here. It is Jones, Scheim, and Mac. Just like after season 3, they're back for a season 4 breakdown. Jones, welcome back to the podcast.
Oh, good to be back, and I'm a faithful as well. I am.
Yeah, liar! You're a liar, piece of shit.
I would definitely be a traitor. Yeah.
Good for sure. Mac, how are you?
Things are great. I do love how every single person at the round table is there. I swear on my family's life, I'm a traitor.
I would probably fall into the same thing. I feel like it's easy to make fun of, but it's like you got to come up with anything else because that's not going to convince.
Like first things first, I'm a faithful.
You just lay it on super sarcastic and be like, I'm a traitor. A lot of people got away with that this season, saying they're traitors and whatnot.
That's true. How about Scheim back again? Not just a Game of Thrones guy, also a Traitors guy. Welcome back.
Not even a sinus infection could hold me back from this friggin' podcast, man. And I got to tell you, I used to be a piece of shit traitor. Not anymore.
I like how your entire morning show is just like real sick, and it's only a matter of time till both me and Jones get it. But that's
it's a disaster, man. I don't know what's going on, but it's fine.
I'm not worried.
All right, so this is a all spoiler pod. Obviously, the results have been out since last Thursday. It's hard to avoid the spoilers anyway. I would highly recommend the show. In fact, it has become my favorite reality show, surpassing MTV Challenge recently. I love the whodunit aspect. I love how it's edited. I love how people are made to look either really dumb or really smart. And the cast of characters is pretty good, and it's always kind of changing. Whereas, like, on Challenge, which Jones and Mac, we've talked about the Challenge a bunch. There's so many new people on that show now too that it's not really what I'm used to anyway. So it's not like these are all the people I remember from Real World. So the fact that Traitors has a lot of people I don't know doesn't really matter. And like the actual gameplay of it, I think is as fun as any reality show going right now. Big fan.
It's like really captured this intersection of people too, because I now have a group chat with like 2 of my friends' wives who watch this show because they watch all the other shows. And it's like, I don't really talk to them about anything, but now we have a group chat strictly revolving around the Traitors. It's fantastic.
I think what it does that the Challenge sucks at now is like, they're all like professional athletes just about. They're all, too fit and too worried about what they put into their bodies. And like, I think this show, I know we're going to get into some of like the challenges and the missions and whatnot. Like, I think it's a little lacking there, but at least they kind of like have a good time in the house, which they just don't even do on the Challenge anymore. So I like that about this show too, but the gameplay is tremendous. I agree with that.
Yeah, you can be literally anybody. You can be a housewife, or you can be a heavyweight boxer and be on this show and compete one way or another, or choose not to compete in some people's cases. And so I love it. I think that is the best part. You can bring Kate from Below Deck in, or you can bring Deontay Wilder. It doesn't matter. They're all welcome.
Yeah, what's crazy about this show too is that like the Challenge also, they don't drink as much anymore. So like the big fights and like the big craziness like is and like the physical fights, the verbal fights are so down, whereas just the round table alone like sets it up. Like you're guaranteed one kind of like verbal fight per show, let alone some of the other stuff. And then in other seasons, and I guess a little bit in this one, when the Traitors don't all see eye to eye, the interaction in the turret is also a lot of fun. So it's like you have way more of a chance for like conflict than you even do on the Challenge.
Just a quick note on the drunkenness. If you're seeking some of the best part of Real World and the Challenge was like the drunk arguments. I've recently got into a show called Summer House. Have you guys watched this show at all?
Hell yeah.
It is so good. It is so good at exactly that. Drunk, stupid arguments that make you feel like a better person because they're all terrible people.
Well, that's one of the reasons the older seasons of The Bachelor were better, because when it was one dude with 20 women, all of the women would get shit-faced and yell at each other, where they can't do that anymore. Now there's like a 2 drink per hour limit or whatever. And so now you got to be like that. Now nobody's nearly as drunk as they used to be.
Yeah. The MVP of this season might be one of the MVPs of reality television, as Rob went wire to wire as a traitor, won it alone, so he took home all $220,000, and by my count, didn't get a vote at any roundtable besides other traders that knew that they were toast. Candace, and then at the very end, Magic Ears it was like I had to throw something out. That was it. Nobody else. Even when the heat got on Rob at the end, it ended with him getting 0 votes. The guy could not possibly have played it any better.
No, so he was, I mean, as you said, wire to wire, incredible, very well liked. I think we'll get into some of his moves coming up, but like him reading the room, and I would just disagree with Candace and Lisa that he turned on them. I just think he saw the writing on the wall and he said, I'm going to hide myself as much as I can in plain sight. So being well liked, being pretty well connected, and being able to read all that, I think made him the easy, no questions asked MVP and the guy who cleaned up financially.
Yeah, if you were to tell me the guy walking in the room with overalls from Love Island season 5 was gonna puppet master the whole game.
Oh, he's a snake hunter too, by the way.
Yeah. Like snakes.
I would have said no fucking chance, no shot, absolutely not. And he crushed.
Yeah, you would have thought this guy was an idiot, just like every other meathead that's on TV. But he was like really smart. He was like he thought multiple steps ahead and planned accordingly, and it was like really impressive.
Yeah, so I think the first thing he said when he got in the house, like right away, was like, I haven't even like hooked up with any chicks yet. And I was like, here we go. Like this guy's just like a meathead. And it turns out there was a lot more there where even like at some of the roundtables, who was he correcting their language, which I thought maybe almost blew up his spot? Who is it?
Michael Rappaport.
Rappaport. Yeah, he's like, that's not even what that means.
He was ripping Colton. He was like, you conniving, like him, like almost commiserating. And he's like, commiserating means like to feel sorry for.
Yeah, and you're like, whoa, don't be that smart.
Yeah,
take it down a little bit.
Yeah,
my fiance said too that like on his season of Love Island, everybody hated him. Like he was just a total D-bag. Nobody liked him, and I was like, that doesn't translate at all to this show.
Weird.
No, that is so interesting.
Yeah, he was a favorite of everybody in there because it was it's literally like housewives and then like a lot of gay dudes was like most of the show, and like they were
and then
just
Ron
like,
Funches
and like they just loved him because it was funny even at the reunion, which was not really worth watching. No. But Andy was like, how many people here like basically were like had a crush on Rob? And it was like Dorinda, Yam, like everybody put their hand up. Like,
Johnny Ware from the other side of the
world. Like, yes, please. So yeah, he was so good. And I'm with you, Jones. Like, I think Lisa started to get some smoke on her, and it was Colton and Dorinda, because Colton was like, hey, Dorinda, I got a question for you. Like, is Lisa like this? Is she really quiet? And Dorinda was like, no. And this is where these people knowing each other or being semi-famous comes back to bite them, because Lisa would have gotten a lot further if nobody knew her personality.
She's Lisa fucking Rinna, as she says 50 million times. So yeah, that really did blow up in her face. Yeah.
So he was really smart because he saw the writing on the wall and people were even asking him. And in this game, if you don't have an answer for something, that is all of a sudden sus. And he can't defend her and then have her go up there and be like, I'm a traitor. So he saw that 10 steps ahead. But then the other traitor, Candace, does not understand the game or where she is or what she's doing, and like lost her mind. And I'm not saying Rob wouldn't have taken the money from her at the end like he did Magic Ears, but he wouldn't have turned on her as quickly. I don't think, because there wasn't any smoke on her at all. No. And then she just played it crazy, and she had one of the dumbest moves. We'll do best moves, worst moves. One of the dumbest moves was when it came down to Lisa and Natalie, and it was basically torn. And everyone's looking at Candace and she's like, I'm going with Rob. And it was like, made no sense. Like, you don't have to vote for Lisa in that situation. There's just as much heat on Natalie, and you could be like, hey, I got it wrong, but so did half the room. So Candace, to me, just was like a terrible player at the game.
Yeah, she didn't understand that like voting history is something people were going to remember. And like the way you like, because that's where it comes, like, a little bit of Survivor comes into it. All you have is your voting record. Ultimately, like, you can argue this, you can argue that, but your voting record shows you where you are. And she fundamentally did not understand that. Like, that was showing her cards right there when she threw that vote out for Rob.
I'm trying, and didn't she start only voting for Ron? I can't remember, but I feel like she kind of made it very clear that she's like, I only make a consistent vote, and if I'm on you, I'm on you. And then out of nowhere, she's like, I think Rob, and she's doing throwaway votes when she's like I am only on one person. Yeah. So I think she messed all that up. Yeah.
I think it was a throwaway vote. It's amazing because Maura was asleep. The best was, we're jumping around here, but like Maura, Tara, and Johnny were asleep most of the game. And then all of a sudden they woke up and Maura's sitting there at the round table and she's like, I think it was a throwaway. And you're like,
the Maura voice is fun to do. That's a fun voice. So
yes. She was great. And then I give credit to Tara for even like walking around the house being like, I suck at this game.
I'm telling you, I don't think the second half of this season is any good without Tara Lipinski.
Awesome.
She's so bad at this game that she made it tremendously enjoyable.
She's like, why am I here? Like she was really good.
And she was pot committed to voting for somebody, convinces Natalie to like go against them, and then doesn't vote for them.
Yeah.
And then like two round tables before that, the whole house is fully convinced that she's a traitor, but she's such an emotional mess. They're like, oh, she's not acting. There's no way she's a traitor.
She's just
like
bad.
Within 10 minutes.
That was a great challenge. Usually the challenges are like, for the most part, you could skip them, but there's usually like one little wrinkle in there that helps, whether they're like fighting for a shield or whatever. And so the one where they had to jump out of the Jack-in-the-Boxes and like say like this trivia questions, because that's what did in what's her name in season 3. The girl with the crazy eyes that was from
Caroline.
Oh yeah,
Caroline, because she like spoke up to try to like win the money, which is like only the Traitors would know what the answer was. Remember? So anyway, she kind of exposed herself there. But in this one, they like just picked Tara's name every time.
It was a genius strategy.
That was
really
smart.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what, we're gonna have to kind of throw the money here, but like they could have been caught. But no, anyway, Tara and Johnny were really funny in that regard, just because they were like got to the end, and then even at the end, Johnny's like, I know who it is now, but it's like, yeah, but there's 4 people left.
Yeah, there's only so many options.
Not that hard.
What'd you think of them pretending that they didn't know each other, like, or weren't like super friendly? I thought that was pretty dumb, but then it seemed like the house was shocked when they were like, oh, we're actually like really good friends.
It made no sense. If you've been like alive for the last 20 years, you know that they were at the Olympics together forever.
Right.
And like, I don't know if that was just the editor's way too of like the whole house letting them get to the final 5 was insane, because all they needed was one more person to control that final episode.
Yeah.
And luckily, Rob had the right amount of influence, but that the last like 2 or 3 round tables leading up to that, I'm like, how are they not getting either Johnny or Tara out of here so that it's all kind of, up for grabs? But having that strong 2 at the end is crazy.
Yeah, that's why I would have actually murdered one of those 2 in the final traitor murder rather than Mark, because Mark, you didn't know where his vote was going to go, but you knew for sure Johnny and Tara were going to vote together. So I for sure would have broken them up. The other thing I would have said at the round table, and ultimately it didn't matter because Maura ended up voting with those guys, with the Traitors. But I would have just said what you said basically is like, forget who you think it is right now. Those 2 are going to split the money.
Yeah, it's a numbers game now.
If we don't send one of them home,
we're
all going to lose. They're going to win, whether they're faithful or traitors. And I would talk about it that way. Be like, forget what you think. Like, we got to split them up. And I mean, it worked anyway, but it was.
And
I
think too, I actually disagree. I think if you had murdered one of them, it would have caused Mark to have to look at people that weren't them. So it would have immediately looked at Rob, Maura, and Eric, and if he swings Maura at all, which I don't know that he could have just because of her relationship with Rob, but he just needed 1 vote to fuck that up. Like, so I think
that's the same as Tara and Johnny. And I think Tara did a pretty good job of almost convincing Maura. She almost did. Maybe. And then Maura, the last thing Maura even said, which she was ultimately half right, she was like, all right, well then Eric is one. Like, she at least got that one right.
Right. I think I'm with Scheim on this, and I understand the votes where you're like, you want to get or split up Johnny and Tara. Rob said that, I think, at one point in the turret to Eric, and I was pretty mindful of that. I think you want to be able to pin somebody else's traitors. I think is kind of what you're saying, Scheim. So by getting Mark out, I think everybody assumed he wasn't a traitor, and now it's like, Rob can really act tomorrow and Eric can really act tomorrow like, hey, it's Johnny and Tara, or it's at least one. I think they were easier to frame than Mark. And once Mark's in the house, process of elimination, it's like we got to start looking at Rob and Eric, and Maura knows about her. So at that point,
Johnny and Tara were never going to vote for each other.
Right.
Like even if they were traitors, they were never going to eliminate the other one. So by getting rid of Mark, like you had the perfect double targets to say we're traitors.
But being bad at the game, I think you can't win it, but you can get really far.
Oh, yeah.
So I was thinking, like, if I was in that situation, that's the way to play it, is like just like I'm so confused and like kind of vote with the group, but then be like, I don't know, because Tom Sandoval in season 3 is similar to Johnny and Tara. The difference is Sandoval thought he was good, but everybody else thought he was bad.
Johnny and Tara knew they weren't. Yeah,
but they knew that. Like, I give them credit for being like, what the fuck are we even doing here? So
well, and there was also that woman that made it to the final 3 with
CT and Trishelle.
CT and Trishelle, and then they're like, "Yeah, goodbye. We're getting
ready to do anything."
MJ.
MJ. That's
from one of the Bravo shows.
Unbelievably forgettable person, and that's why she was there.
She was baffled.
She was stunned.
She was like, "Guys, you won, right?" They're like, "Well, we did. Like,
we're about to win.
You didn't do anybody." So, yeah. All right, what was the best move of the game? I think one of them that jumps out to me was probably Rob allowing Candace to kill Colton, even though that was Rob's guy, but maybe even specifically because it was Rob's guy, but also because he was calling out Candace, and it made Candace for a second think like, oh, like Rob's actually working with me a little bit. Like there's every little domino from there kind of solidified the game that he was going to win, at least for me.
Yeah, to me, that stretch and right before the teaming up with Colton so that it looks like they're best mates, and then Colton going. And I also think another brilliant move by Rob is if you look at the remaining players that were left when he recruits Eric's the one with the least amount to say. And so almost naturally in the next couple rounds, people are going to start pointing their fingers at him. He was like the perfect meat shield in that scenario.
Yeah, so I think, and those are good ones. I just think it was as simple as what we said earlier, like not sticking with Lisa like Candace did and reading the room and saying, she's going. Like I have to vote with the group or I'm going to look like I have a reason not to, and people are going to start looking at me. I think that gave him a lot of cover for a long time outside of Candace. And I think that was a really good move early, or at least it seems early now looking back at it, that bought him a lot of time.
And just the relationship he crafted with Maura, just like being in her corner, being friends with her the entire time. I've never seen someone so stunned in my life when he actually told me the truth. It was the pinnacle of like reality television to me. And I think that move alone like won him the game.
I wanted Mac and Keefe, you'll get this. I wanted her to hold on to it a little. She got over it too quick for my taste. Like I want Sarah still like breaks down anytime, like from the challenge, anytime the incident with bananas is brought up. That's what I wanted her to do. And she got over it too quick for my taste, but she was stunned.
She went through every stage of grief, every emotion you possibly could. And there's even a moment like after he says he's a traitor, she's waiting, and she said it in the reunion too. She even like looks off camera, the producers, to be like, she's like, this? Am I getting fucked with right now?
Fucking with me. Yeah.
Where's Ashton Kutcher?
Jason in the chat has a good one too. When it was time to recruit a traitor, Rob went with Eric, which would like as you guys said was an easy guy to sort of pin it on. There wasn't a ton of stuff on him right away, but it would have been easy to sort of pivot that way. Plus, at that stage of the game, they had already found 3 female traitors, so
had to pick a guy.
You could not pick a female traitor, so that was a good call by Rob, and ultimately,
and he was dumb enough that he was malleable, and like Rob could kind of manipulate him exactly how he wanted.
Oh, Eric, I was like, we're gonna win it together, like never once for a second. And this is where he screwed up: is when he was in the van ride with Johnny and Tara.
He should have thrown out Rob's name.
He could have won the game right there.
100%.
Could have convinced them to be like, Johnny, you're right, dude. Let's go for him.
Well, and that solidified Maura against him too, because Johnny and Tara ran that right back to her, and then she's like, "Well, we have to fucking get Eric now." So, like, you're right. If he just sowed that seed and brought it up, they could have run with it, and they didn't.
Yeah. Any other best moves, or do you want to go to worst moves?
Who had a good move? Did anybody have a good move besides Rob?
Well, I thought Colton was playing a really good game until he gets killed. Like
it was a little too aggressive. Though.
He was.
Yeah.
But it was very much like the last Bachelor, Peter, who was just like, I'm on a mission to hunt traitors. We're gonna hunt all these traitors, and then like it just backfires.
They've both been too aggressive, been on the verge. What I think should be like the meta strategy is like, all right, if you're super suspect to someone, you keep them around and try to get them to suss out the other ones. Yeah. And they both kind of talked about it, but didn't actually do it.
It might have been a good move overall by the group with the dagger element for them to be like, hey, let's keep it within us and like let's make that our own mini little alliance as they went on. I saw Wes from the challenge. He tweeted out a point though that obviously nobody picked up on, and it's easy in hindsight. But that group, so there's 5 people besides Rob that knew that he had the dagger, and he didn't use it for the first 2 go-arounds, and they didn't say who had it. But at least that many people had it. By the end, couldn't you have swung that on to Rob and been like, if everybody or if enough people knew he had 2 votes, wouldn't you want to kill that guy? Because that's when he's the most dangerous is at the round table.
True.
How can a guy with 2 votes survive that long? But that
he almost just let it fade into the back and not even talk about it, so people kind of forgot about it.
The only reason he had to mention it was because Natalie was like worried she was going to die, and she's like, "Rob, you need to tell them. You need to fucking tell them right now."
Yeah. Maybe just as important as the best player. Who was the most entertaining player to you? There was 23 people in the house. I would say the nominees would have to be Portia. She burned hot and quick, and she was out. But Portia, I would say Michael Rappaport.
I think that's the one.
Ron Funches, maybe Rappaport. Lisa Rinna was way more entertaining than I thought. She was a really fun trader. She did the thing with like the brooch and all that stuff. That was good. And probably Mora, just because she's very quotable. But I
thought Colton was pretty entertaining too.
Yeah, good one. Colton was good.
I go Rappaport there. Like he's entertaining in like such a maddening, frustrating way. Where like you wouldn't want to actually hang out with the guy, but then at the same time, he brought like 90% of the humor. So I would go Rappaport.
You have to be a whole different level of insane for people to know you're a faithful and still want to vote you out.
Yeah,
weren't mad. It's the first time ever when the guy went up there and he's like, "I'm a faithful." They're like, "Good, dude.
We're done." Like it's
I gotta say, Ron Funches having the personality in this game that he ended up having stunned me. He was like kind of a killer mentality, and like he's so happy-go-lucky, and at least in the way I know him, that like that was pretty surprising.
Yeah, he's also a friend of the show now. He was the Jones and Keefe Hoss of the Week, and we put that out on Instagram, which he reposted and liked it. And then because he just was sort of at the center of getting Portia voted out, my wife commented on the thing. She was like, Hoss of the Week, shouldn't he be the bozo? Just sort of like a Jones and Keefe inner joke
thing. Kind of got that reference, yeah.
Kind of used it, and then he responded. He said, "Rude." And then I responded to that. I was like, "We're all rooting for you, Ron. I hope you go far."
Yeah, Ron.
Now Ron Funches is a friend of the show. So,
dude, he's been like torching people in like his comedy sets, right? Like other people on the show.
Yeah, but like he was so tame on the reunion, but apparently on like he does stand up like 4 nights a week, and he's like ripping into people.
He's going to be in town, I believe, over the summer. You guys should get him on the show.
We're gonna try.
Ooh, yeah, in the works.
I saw his stand-up like 12 years ago. He opened for Hannibal Buress. He was fucking hilarious. He was also like 200 pounds heavier back then.
Yeah, he was a bigger Hoss. He's like he's a reformed Hoss now. He's not quite the same.
He really is.
But Funches was he was good, and he and Rappaport went out back to back. And I remember thinking then, I'm like, man, this show's not going to be as entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't probably as funny, but it was still really good. And also just the way they edit it is so good. So even if you don't have funny people, you get like, Mark or like Colton being like, oh no, the who was the chef? Kristen's like, I know it's Colton.
Yeah.
That to me is funny every single time. Let's see. Least entertaining player. I mean, it might be the dude Steven. He didn't do like for somebody who lasted long, he didn't do anything.
Magic ears. It's Eric. He was not entertaining at all. He didn't say anything half the time.
That's true. He kind of skated by, but he was funny when he reacted to seeing Rob was a traitor. He like literally shit. Then he goes, I need a diaper and a helmet because I'm about to shit my pants. And my head's going.
That was a good line. No, Steven is definitely a candidate. When I watched the reunion, I thought she was great on Big Brother. And I don't know if you guys made it that far, but Tiffany was great on Big Brother. I honestly forgot she was even on this show until they rolled her out at the reunion, and I'm like, oh yeah, her. So
also, Mama Kelsey was unbelievably unentertaining.
Yeah, I wanted Mama Kelsey to just come in and flip the script and be like conniving, calling people out. She was just happy to be there, make friends. Yeah. Everyone loved her. I'm like, all right, that's fine, but that's not entertaining.
It was so lame when she's like, I'm in awe. She's like, I'm just fans of everyone in here. And I'm like, your kids are like Hall of Fame football players, and your daughter-in-law is Taylor Swift, and you're in awe of Stephen Colletti and Candace Bassett.
Hey, Stephen Colletti was on One Tree Hill, all right? I'm in
awe of every one of you. I'm like, I'd be bad at the game because I wouldn't know anybody's names. It'd be like time to vote somebody out. I'd be like, that guy, get that guy out. I don't know.
In the reunion, Andy asked her a question. She answers it. He completely doesn't ask a follow-up. And he's like, yeah, so did Taylor watch the show?
Yeah. She watches. I'm sure she does.
The guy from Dancing with the Stars, Mark, who ended up finishing 6th place or whatever, he was another one that a whole episode would go by and you're like, oh, he's still in it.
Yeah. The guy with the hair is still here. Yeah.
He's having a good time. He's out there having some fun. What do you guys think of the secret traitor idea? Not just that it was Donna, but if you want to talk about Donna, that's fine. But just the season starts, and I personally like this twist just because as a viewer, you always know who the traitors and the faithful are. But now this was for an episode or 2 episodes, whatever it was. We didn't even know who the secret traitor was. So I thought that part was cool.
Yeah, you were kind of on Donna. Did you guys have an inkling it was Donna as a secret traitor or no?
No. She was not on my list of candidates. I thought it was pretty much anyone but her.
Well, so credit to my wife and to Davey's wife. So just like Mac, I'm on a text chain with them as we watch the show, and they both were on Donna. So I wasn't. I thought it was Yam Yam because he had some weird conversation with Monet Exchange where I'm like, oh, Yam Yam sounds like he's a secret traitor. But they both were like, no, they want to keep her on for a few episodes and blah 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 for rating. They both sniffed it out right away, and I was like, yep, it was in fact Donna.
I don't know how I feel about the audience not knowing. I sort of like the idea of knowing who's working against the traitors, even if there is a traitor. If there's a better way to pit the traitors versus traitors there, I think I would like that. But the idea in general, adding new wrinkles like that, I think is going to keep the game more entertaining.
Yeah, the idea was good. The execution was poor. Is kind of where I landed.
Yeah, they picked a bad one. I think if you picked a better person, it might have worked better. I'm with Keefe. I liked trying to act like a faithful and figure out who the people were as I was watching along. I was really bad at it. I thought it would be one of Johnny or Tara. Not even close. So I would be a terrible faithful and bad at the game, but it was fun to kind of put yourself in that because you really genuinely didn't know.
It would have been interesting. We were one round table away from her meeting them because they had that other one where they're like a murder in plain sight or whatever it was with the card. And then to see 4 people in the turret argue over who to kill would have been interesting. Not that I think she would have argued, but just 4 personalities in there, which I don't think we've seen yet, right? It's been 3.
I don't think so. No. Yeah.
So
at most, it's been 3, I believe.
Yeah. So a lot of people,
when Boston Rob came in, there was only 2, right? It was just Carolyn and that other girl who was terrible.
Oh, Danielle.
Well, yeah.
Boston Rob. No, you know what? Maybe you're right because Boston Rob got
Bob
out.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. So maybe there was 4 at that time.
It might have been 4.
Maybe there was for 1 go, and then and he quickly turned on him. Which also we said this at the time. There's no reason. He was like, oh, he was onto us. I'm like, no, he wasn't.
I feel like Candace made the same mistake this year. Candace was too worried about Rob flipping. She should have back pocketed that and busted that out later. The fact she tried to go right at him on the next episode was the same exact mistake that I think Boston Rob made with Bob the Drag Queen.
It seems like at least these last 3 seasons, the first season with Suri was it feels like she was just playing a different game than everyone else. But these last 3 seasons, the good traitors that we've seen, whether they've won or not, have fostered good social relationships with faithful. The bad ones just keep leaning on the other traitors instead of actually playing the social game.
Yeah. A lot of Maura was obviously beating herself up during the reunion and the finale and saying how dumb she is. I just think she just trusted Rob, and she was you got to try to trust some people in the game, and you're either going to be right or you're going to be wrong. So I don't think she was the dumbest person in the game. I still think it was Candace. Like, she didn't get it, and she was
100%.
in the catbird seat for a while, and then she like still doesn't get it. Whereas like Maura was like, God, man, I look dumb, but like it's a game, and like I don't hate you, Rob. Whereas like Candace is like, Rob, you're a snake, and he's like, playing a game. Like, we're playing, it's a game we're playing.
I agree with that. Tara was pretty stupid, but at least she was self-aware of it.
Yeah.
I thought though, like you mentioned already, like Maura never had a reason really to doubt Rob. Eric had every reason to doubt Rob in those last couple episodes, and he just was happy-go-lucky and was going to go along. Like, he never saw the writing on the wall. Like, he should have been playing the game more than he was. He was just like, "Oh, I'm hitching a ride to the final here."
Yeah, that was weird. I wonder if he was like, because people were kind of on him, that he just got like nervous and was like, I'm just going to lean on Rob. But that was dumb. That was a mistake. Actually, yeah, I would say Eric is a candidate too, because Michael Rapport gave him the nickname, which sticks, because he was wrong about who he thought he heard.
Hilarious.
And nobody else in the cast knew this. But then he also, when he got the recruitment letter from Rob, he's like, and I know who this is. He's like, this is Johnny's signature.
Yeah.
Like, it's not.
I forgot about that.
I did too.
Good.
You can't hear, can't see, and then for him to be like blindsided by Rob, like you add all that up, he actually might be even dumber than anybody else.
But he definitely cost himself the most money at the end, right? Like Candace didn't even get close. I do think Candace, the conga line was so dumb. I can't believe that didn't blow up on her. But the conga line was so dumb.
Rob C sniffed that out instantly.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, which was really smart. So yeah, I thought she was. If Rob didn't turn on her and get the house to go against her, she would have been out shortly thereafter because she didn't get the game.
Mm-hmm.
I also think some of those like murder in plain sights, when the penalty is just you don't get to murder or you don't get to meet the secret traitor, I'm not really risking it. Like I'd be like,
worth it.
I'm like, all right, we'll see you tomorrow. Like we'll kill somebody else. Like, especially like at that point, the traitors had no smoke on them at all. Nobody knew Rob the whole game. Nobody knew Candace. Nobody even at that point knew Lisa. And so, like, I mean, credit to them. They made it happen, and they were doing the stupid thing where they were pretending to play chess and like all that. They made it work. But like, I'd be like, not doing it.
The only way someone should do it is if they're like in a 2v1 traitor situation where they're not agreeing on who could go, and so you can kind of take the power and eliminate the one player you want to eliminate.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's no reason to.
I thought the thing that sucked for Lisa, and I didn't think Lisa had like great gameplay. I'd agree. I thought she was entertaining. She got fucked over because Yam Yam was so wrong. Like she's
So wrong.
She had the brooch.
So
That was like she did a great job with that. She's like, "Oh, can you button this for me?" Great job by her. And then somehow Yam Yam was so wrong that he actually wound up getting her, and that fucked her over. But she actually did really well with that.
She did. She crushed that part of it. And yeah, he was wrong. That was great. And I respect the hell out of Yam Yam. If I'm getting eliminated, I'm taking as many people down as I can.
It's you.
So fair. I'm like, yeah, it is. Why not? Like, all right. So real quick, going through the order of elimination. So they start with 23 people, and some dude, Ian from Big Brother, Jones, you watch Big Brother, he's the first one in and out, and sort of like Bananas was a couple seasons ago. I think one smart thing that the traitors realize is like, hey, if somebody's going to figure us out, it's probably an MTV challenge or a Big Brother person, or maybe a
gamer. Yeah,
let's target them. I think targeting the game players is a good strategy. So like, we didn't get to know this guy, but Ian, first one gone. I think it was a smart kill.
Yeah, and I think, he would have been real dry in the house. I don't know if you were translated to this game really at all. Like, he won his season. Tiffany went really far on her season. Dan Giesling's one of like the great Big Brother players of all time. Like, none of them have really translated whatsoever. Derek's another great one. So yeah, he left early again. He's somebody who I thought could do pretty well in the game, and he did.
Portia goes out second. She gets voted out, and it was because in front of Ron and a couple others, she said, "When we killed Ian."
This is also where Lisa started her downfall. She wrote Portia's name.
Yep.
So dumb.
Yeah,
really dumb. Should not have done that at all. They don't vote for housewives. I thought that it eventually came back on her, but for a couple episodes, people didn't mention that, and I was like, oh, maybe she got away with that. But
like Dorinda was thinking it clearly, but like didn't bring it up to anybody. This is probably where Lisa having another housewife as a traitor probably really helped. But yeah, I thought that was so stupid, and I was surprised it took so long to stick to her.
That's another one of the least interesting people. Like Dorinda was kind of useless. She was just like there, especially because they didn't show the clear beef that her and Funchess had. And Funchess talks about it like outside of the show, and he's like, "Yeah, we fucking hated each other, and yet they just won't show it to us."
It was bizarre when they started sniping at each other at the round table, and he's just like, my life is none of your fucking business or whatever. And then like, what? He's like, I'm not gonna talk to you. And I'm like, what is happening?
Did I miss it? I gotta rewind. Did I fucking miss something?
Seriously, it was very aggressive. So she gets sent home, and then Rob C gets murdered. And this was smart by Candace. Well, actually, this was sort of lucky for Candace, right? Because this was when they were playing the chess thing, but Rob C was on to Candace for the Congo line, but he got murdered, and then nobody even thought about it twice. I was like, all right, here we go.
It's a bad sign for the show when like people are like, I think they're doing a murder in plain sight right now. Like that means they got to start switching up some of the twists a little bit more if people are sniffing it out that much. Because that was a really good read by him. It ended up helping him get killed, but they got to switch some of that up, I think.
Oh, agreed. Especially, and then later on the season when they're just like, oh, I bet they recruited somebody. You know, like, so it's like you're waiting for the recruitment, you're waiting for the murder in plain sight. So then they get Donna, which this was also a big break for the Traitors, is because they're not even working with her. The rest of the house thinks they really got a traitor, which technically they did.
Yeah.
But it's like they if I'm playing the game, I'm probably thinking like, all right, there's 2 left now. I'm not thinking there's 3 left. So that was a big benefit, I think, to
and in my head, they came into the season, right? So Suri wins season 1, then you have Faithfuls win season 2 and 3. So I think in this season, they purposefully stacked the deck for the Traitors to win the season.
That makes sense. Caroline Stanbury from Ladies of London.
She was another forgettable one.
She was forgettable.
I didn't remember her.
So
she's the one tied to the tree in the woods.
Yeah. And Lisa's like, she's like, we'll see each other at BravoCon. She's like, no, you won't. Like, that's like all I really remember about her.
And then Tiffany from Big Brother. So now it is 3 gamers. She gets voted out. Tiffany does, and she's wrong. And that's one where people start digging in because like, oh, you have like a real big hunch on somebody and you're wrong. So then people start fighting each other. Monet Exchange gets murdered. Great name. Love Monet Exchange.
Awesome name.
Then we get into the Rappaport, Funchess, Yam Yam, 1, 2, 3. So banished, obviously Rappaport, banished for Funchess. Yam Yam murdered by Lisa. So then Lisa,
right? He touched the brooch, right? So kind of, but yeah.
Yeah. Right. That's exactly what happened. But that one was also pretty funny because then they're like, all right, we have 2 elixirs if anybody wants to drink them. And that Natalie girl who hadn't said a word all season was like, I fucking need one.
I love Natalie. She's one of my favorite Survivor players ever. Like she's great in Survivor. She was good in her, half season on the challenge. She ends up making it to final 6 or 7, whatever. But she kind of cost herself in the end by all the stuff she did running up there.
Yeah,
because
freaked out
at 6 or 7. She's the only one really sniffing Rob out, but it's too late, and he uses the dagger there.
Yeah. Well, and you guys, I think Jones and Keefe, you guys brought this up on your show. Her clothes selection, she needs a fucking stylist. That thing was a mess. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Well,
it was outrageous.
I can see how
she's got more defined traps than I do, but like, my God, she needs a stylist.
I can see how she made it far. I didn't see her season of Survivor. I can see how she made it far though, because she's not going to waste away on a desert island. She's got a lot of muscle to work through on a desert island.
So Natalie, she was in 2 seasons, Blood vs. Water, and she ends up winning. Or she was in 3 seasons. Sorry, she ends up winning her 2nd season. Comes back at Winners at War, and she gets exiled almost immediately. And the way to get back into the game is basically this one long physical challenge, and she fucking dominates it after not eating anything for like 3 weeks. It was super impressive.
So she's so she's still 6 rounds. So where were we? So Yam Yam. Then this is where this all goes very much in favor of Rob. He has to dodge a couple bullets, but so Lisa gets voted out. They murder Colton. At least he lets Candace murder, and then they quickly pivot to Candace. And so she's gone. So I guess some people a little bit later on start to be like, well, Candace, did she leave us a clue? Like she did vote for him twice, even though she was like, well, you dropped your fork. And that was also so dumb because so they do the morning breakfast, and Colton, who clearly Rob is friends with, and Rob wants everybody to know they're friends, and then he's gone, and even if he's like a little shook, like yeah, would be like his friend just got voted out. It's just like shut the fork.
Right. That made no sense.
Oh, also, Mac and Scheim, me and Jones's producer Nick brought up this point, and he is 100% right, with the exception of one day in the morning at breakfast. You know how they let them in, like usually like in groups of 3. Yep. There's a traitor in the first group every single time, except for one time. For whatever reason, one time there wasn't. But like,
I think that time they were all like last. The one time they weren't all in the first group. Like
maybe that was it. Yeah,
I thought there's no way the show would be that stupid, or maybe not stupid, but just like that blatant. But like Nick he called that early in the season. He's very much right. The Traitors are always in the first group.
Was it just this season though, or was it in past seasons as well? Because
I think he was on it because it was in past seasons. I don't remember.
So I feel like I had thought about it at least earlier seasons, and this one I feel like it happened specifically because there were 3 traitors, or technically 4 traitors for a large portion of the season. So like it's hard to not put one of them in one of those first groups, I would say. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of wild if that was the case.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, so where were we real quick? So that works out well for him. Then they murdered Dorinda. And at that point, you're just sort of like, all right, who's on whose side here? What are you going to do?
And that's where, so he recruits Eric, and then they murder Dorinda. Yep. And then pretty much everyone left besides Eric and Mark have some like smoke about whether or not they're a traitor. So yes. it really, like, Rob, by picking Eric, I think he could have picked Mark too. He sets himself up for that final end game where kind of everyone's in play here.
Well, yeah. I think his logic with Eric over Mark is he's like, I don't think I need to recruit Mark. He's like, I think Mark will already vote with me, and I already have a good enough relationship. I don't need to recruit him, so I'll go with Eric, I think was his logic.
Well, and I think too, Mark would have been. Eric was never going to turn on Rob, whereas Mark may have. I don't think it's likely, but there was like that slight chance that he could have. Eric was never going to do that.
So then Steven is voted out. Then they murder Kristen, the chef. Mm-hmm. Then they banish Natalie, and then the last murder is Mark. They also as like a faithful, you don't really know how many traitors there are, and you're just sort of guessing. And after you voted out 3, you might think there's only 1 left. But then when they did that Jack in the Box mission, they were like, all right, every like couple minutes or whatever, we're gonna have the traitors come out and like speak to each other and like vote a thing on. So it's like Alan kind of confirmed that there were 2 at that point.
At least, yeah.
Right,
so now the rest of the way, you have to vote out 2 more.
But isn't that a rule of the game? Isn't there like
only 1 left?
Yeah, if there's only 1 left, they have to recruit.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe
that's a good question. I'm not sure.
This is where though, when Keefe picked up on that, because you said that when we were like the day after the episode, I'm like, fuck, that's a good point. That's where I know I'd be a bad faithful, when I'm like, oh yeah, I wouldn't even pick up on that. Good point. But maybe it is a rule. I don't even know that.
Because then I remember like in previous seasons, they would do like a murder before the round table or whatever. And then you remember the one with the girl from Below Deck where they were like, all right, who wants to end the game? And she's like, let's end it. And it's like, died last night. There's really a traitor left. So like they've sort of changed the ending a little bit of it. But I'm like, man, it's so tough because you get down to just like 5 people. And so everybody should be a suspect, I guess, at that point. But so they keep on going through. They murder Mark, and now it's down to like the 5. We sort of already talked about this, but Johnny and Tara, you got to break them up. So they do banish Johnny in a vote in which, shockingly, Rob still gets no votes. I also wonder if they filmed it the last 2 episodes to like heighten the tension, because I wonder how close Maura really came to like. It felt in a moment like, oh, they might turn on Rob.
I think that's editing.
I think it is editing. I agree. Even easier than they let on is my guess. Do you think 2 traitors will ever win this game, or a traitor will sort of befriend, like the way this season played out is like 2 traitors and a faithful, and then the 1 traitor should be with the other faithful and be like, let's fucking get this guy. I think it's gonna be hard. It hasn't happened yet.
There's just no incentive for them to split it at the end, and like the minute more is like, we got to get Eric too. Rob's like, perfect. Like, this is great.
Yeah,
like,
it's like, great.
I
didn't have to bring it up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so I don't know if they need to change that end game mechanic a little bit. Like maybe with the Traitors left, they each get the amount. Like, I don't really know how you do that because it's really just set up for one Traitor to win.
Yeah.
And knowing that, inevitably, it does make it fun because you get Traitor v. Traitor stuff along the way.
And I think the purse on this show compared to like other reality shows is small. So like you're incentivized not to go to the end with another Traitor because you're splitting 200K, you know, like getting Eric out or like the MJ CT Trishelle thing, like that makes a lot of sense, even though they were faithful. That makes a lot of sense because it's so much more money for you at the end of the day. There's no incentive to split 100K with somebody else.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I think they're gonna have to add a few twists for the future seasons. I don't know what they do, but they got to do something. Also, somebody at the reunion was mentioning something like, "Oh, if we do like an all-star season," and I'm like, I don't want to see an all-star season. I think you need to do new people, and I'm sure some faithful are pissed they didn't get a chance to be a Traitor, but it's like too bad. Like, I want fresh blood for all the seasons.
Yeah, I agree. And so the next US season is gonna be all regular people, which will be very interesting.
Did you guys apply?
I did.
I did.
Same.
Great. So that's gonna be.
If we both go on, pretend like we don't know each other.
Yeah, you have to do that.
Genius.
That's gonna be pretty interesting. If they go back to like celebs, I almost hope they do a season without gamers because they're instantly targeted from the jump. And it just sort of clouds everyone's game for the first few rounds.
Honestly, you're better off just getting like all Bravo people, and because they're just going to create chaos and hate each other. Make sure you don't have too many housewives, so they can't just gang up on everybody, and then you're golden.
Yeah, I think a twist they could do. It wouldn't be a secret Traitor necessarily, like for the audience. Like at some point, you got to know who the Traitors are, but they could probably go along more with like. The Traitors don't know who each other are. And then like one is recommending a kill list and the other one goes into the turret and it's like, oh shit, this is who the other Traitor wants me to kill. I got to choose from. Like, I think they can play around with that more where maybe as viewers, we know who they are, but the Traitors don't know fully who each other are. Or maybe, I thought that was a good dynamic.
Or maybe there's like a super faithful who can't be murdered by Traitors. And so the only way you can get them out is to get everybody to vote them out.
Roundtable.
And like the only way a Traitor can figure out who it is if they try to murder that person and they show up at breakfast the next day.
And they're shielded.
They have like a shield.
They have a permanent shield.
I'd also like to see, I don't think they're going to be able to incentivize the missions for money. I'd like to see them tie the missions into the votes. So if you're bad on the mission, you don't get a vote. And then that changes the dynamic of the roundtable.
Yeah.
Like the dagger, like in reverse, the dagger in reverse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I also would like to nominate Bam Margera for the show. They could be good. Yeah,
Wait, is he still with us?
Oh yeah.
Are we sure?
I think
they could do a Jackass Traitors. They could. I don't know they could fill a whole house, but they could do a Jackass Traitors.
Well, Steve-O's too busy doing Fear Factor House of Fear.
True.
Knoxville.
That's Johnny
Knoxville. You're right.
He'd be good on the show. I also think like wrestlers or retired wrestlers would be good. I think anybody from the Jersey Shore would be good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think obviously anybody from Jackass would be good.
Give me some retired athletes.
I said this last year. I think Scott Disick would be fucking amazing on this show.
That is a good one.
Spencer Pratt would be awesome too.
Yes. Good call. Yeah, just old reality people. Basically take like the old Surreal Life and throw them in there. Like, all right. Any final thoughts on Traitor season? Anything we didn't get to in this episode?
I'm just rooting for you and Scheim to be in the house together.
And our little thing would be like Boston radio, and then it's like,
no, I've never met him before in my life.
This guy.
I gotta say, Alan Cumming is the fucking best. I think the bit where he grabs the person's photo and hurls it into the ground is one of the best, like, long-running bits of the show.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's so good.
So good. All right, that'll do it for us. If you're watching live on YouTube now, you can jump over to the other link. We're going to have the Scream team come in and review Scream 7. Always a pleasure. Jones, Mac, Scheim, thanks so much for coming on, and stay curious.
The Hashtag Dork Podcast.